It's about to go down.
Liquid assets. Why is money associated with water terms? Well, I'm 80% water.
Tell them, sis.
Real money is true currency.
Come on in the room. Listen, come on in the room. If you are here live,
I'm ready to see what
hey guys,
is.
it's about to go down.
Been misinformed and hidden from.
Hey Ursula,
I'm immeasurable.
got the AOD crew in the building. Hey Sharice.
I'm healed from and so done with scarcity thinking.
Listen,
It doesn't belong to my mind. My worthiness is inherited. I don't have to earn it. I know driven behavior towards money overheats the mind.
we are about to go live with the amazing Toni Jones. I am listening to her music right now.
When I'm being tested in my initiation into flow and love, I call forth all the blessings that belong to me from the north.
You gotta have 2 phones, y'all.
Pull up. It's all coming
Or
out
3.
hiding, so I walk into the very existence of I am, full of opulence,
Hey Toni.
luxury, infinite value, and vibrational drip. 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 Should know. Drip. My birth is authenticated. I won't be on my nerve systems. I am.
Hey beautiful, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, you see me vibing out with your music. Come on now. Thank you for joining today. I'm super excited to chat with you. My community meets your community, and you're going to be sharing your gifts at the upcoming Mindset Megafest. And so let's just start with you introducing yourself, and then we're just going to have a quick chat, and we'll see you live in person tomorrow.
Yes. Well, hey everybody. I'm Toni Jones. I'm an affirmation musician, and I help people talk to themselves better through affirmation music. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, Toni, I wanted to ask you, how did you get into the realm of what you do? Because let me tell you something, me and my daughter, so my daughter's 19, and one of my clients turned me on to you. Her name is Nikki. She might be watching, but she was like, oh, you gotta listen to Toni Jones, because I'm really big on positive mindset, affirmations. I'm a business therapist. And my whole program is about mindset. And I feel like that's what you do. And now you are reaching the masses. So what made you get into the realm of what you do?
Well, I will say, if I was to pinpoint a time, is when I returned back to school years ago to get my degree in psychology. And then I went down the rabbit hole of neuroscience. And when I learned how our mind works, I was just kind of flabbergasted about like how programmable beings that we are. And so that kind of started my process of being, I guess, interested in the internal faculties of our behavior. And so I started my coaching business for women. I did that for 6-7 years. And then when the boss, excuse my language, but when the boss bitch era started to pop off and become popular, I found my message around mental health, self-care, and self-love. Like it really wasn't successful. It was like I was trying to force it when it was so countercultural, because everything was about getting a bag and being successful. And so I just, through prayer and meditation, I was just like, God, you got to give me something to help women understand that they can integrate well-being and work ethic together, like integrated, where they don't compromise each other. And then that's when I got affirmation music, that download. And so the rest is history, you know? So I've been just kind of spearheading that genre, if you will, with, you know, integrating mental health, mindset maintenance, you know, with the power of your words and the power of music.
Oh, I love that. I didn't even know you had a psychology background, but now it makes sense because the words that you say I'm totally in alignment, and I'm a therapist, right? And that's what I want to share with everybody. When you're thinking about starting a business, you don't have to start from scratch. You could literally use what you already have
Yeah.
and bust that thing out the frame and evolve from there. And if you guys listen to Toni's music, like I promise you, you might be like, oh God, here we go. But you turn on Toni's music, man, you're gonna be like, okay, get into the bag, hype, and it's cultural, it's positive, it's affirmational, and mind you, I'm just now being hip to you, so I know it's even more layers to it. So if you guys are tuning in right now and you do not have your ticket for the Mindset Megafest tomorrow, Toni is doing a live meditation with us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the event is free. So I'm like, y'all need to be running to the link in my bio.
Mm-hmm.
So Toni, the next thing that I would love to explore with you is I heard you say when this boss bitch era kind of came on the scene, you kind of seen like not a disconnect, but it's one thing to say, yeah, I'm getting to the bag, and you're on a upward momentum and it's positive, but it's another thing for it to be like toxic and hustle and bustle, and all you care about is the
Mm-hmm.
money. Where do you think that stems from?
Mm. I believe it stems from the indoctrination of the K through 12 experience. You know, we enter the same entity or system that we say that oppresses us, the government, if you will. It's the same system that provides the children education, and not to shame any teachers or educators at all. It's just about the construct, being honest about the construct that we're raised in. And that same oppressive system is the one that provides us education for free and for generations. And that K through 12 experience is where we are in our most sensitive developmental years.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're there majority of the day, majority of the year, majority of our youth and life. And so we're there more than we're anywhere else, in those precious, sensitive developmental years. And so part of that indoctrination is identifying yourself through performance, productivity, and work,
Yeah.
and, performing and producing to get a reward and validation. And so, man, it's a sad narrative because when you learn that you're more than that, now you have to actually do the work to reprogram yourself and unlearn. But it's not about becoming something new. It's letting go of what's not true. So
Woo!
the stem of that, and then you have to, one thing I'm learning, LaShana, did I pronounce your name right?
Yep.
LaShana, like one thing I'm learning right now in my healing journey is giving myself grace for things that aren't my fault,
Yep.
and unlearning the good girl programming of be a good girl in spirituality, be a good girl in relationships, be a good girl in how you perform and produce. And the thing about it is we're very complex beings,
Yeah.
and so that identity, we're attached to that identity. That's what we've learned through our developmental years. Our brain has been indoctrinated with saying my identity is associated with what I do, not who I am,
Amen.
not who I'm being. So we have to, with that newfound awareness, and as we expand our awareness of who we are, and we're letting go of these ideas that we opted into without our permission as children. You know what I'm saying? We were raised in this Western society. We have to give ourselves grace for the unlearning process, because it can be very painful to realize that, oh my gosh, I am actually more than what I do. I am
Wait.
more. It can be very painful. It sounds like something to be zealous and excited about, but when you're actually in the process of embodying that,
Yeah.
it can be very painful. It really can feel like emotional suicide, or mental suicide,
You're
because
right.
it's like you're letting go of what you identified as your personality persona for so long. So, to answer your question, it stems from the K through 12 experience of identify our identities being shaped and molded through productivity and work and performance.
Yes. No, that was a whole word. And someone in the chat said, giving myself grace of what's not my fault. And I always say things did not happen to us, it happened for us, right? Because it's a learning opportunity so we can push forward.
Yeah.
And we have been programmed, and we got to make a decision. Do we continue on this program route, or do we break that cycle and create something that's anew? And that's why I love everything that you do. One of the statements that you said in one of your songs is take up space, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we shrink, we do just enough. Imposter syndrome starts to get in the way.
Yeah.
So, was there anything that occurred, or any something in your life or in your story to where you said, you know what, we're taking up space, we're not shrinking anymore?
You know, when I wrote that song, I remember when I wrote that song, and I remember when I recorded it, and I was so excited about it. And it was just about giving women an anthem that came from a personal space of always feeling like I've been like too much. And I was excited about that message of like giving myself permission and giving women an anthem of personal permission to take up all the space. Like in the song, it says, take up space in the bedroom, the boardroom, on the beach. Like when I mean, something as simple as being at dinner and putting on some lip gloss or taking a selfie. Don't think about what other people think, you know?
And
But I'm going to be honest with you, that song lands a little different for me right now, you
mm,
know, because it's like it's one thing to have a message, but it's a whole nother thing to embody your message.
amen.
And so when I think of take up space now, I think of taking up space as meaning like get rid of the conversation of being right or wrong. How
Yes.
do you feel? How does this situation make you feel? How does this relationship make you feel? How does this deal make you feel? Take up space by giving yourself permission to be honest about your emotional state. And if it does not feel good to you on a soul level, if it's not a full body yes, if it doesn't feel like you're being respected on a sacred level, take up space and say, you know what? I'm going to examine where I'm emotionally at and act accordingly. I'm not going to think about what's good or bad or right or wrong, what the intentions are. Like, no, how do I feel? Because how I feel matters to me. So taking up space lands for me different because I'm embodying it in new ways that I'm just learning that where I was shrinking myself, where I didn't even know. I wasn't fully conscious of it. So taking up space is, I think, a personal journey because we know how we shrink ourselves.
Right.
And as we're on that path of growing and expanding our consciousness, we'll find new ways that we're not taking up space. But again, it's giving yourself that permission to have grace and to examine, say, how do I feel? Because that can be enough. That can
Yes.
be enough for your decision making. Forget if it's right or wrong, if it's a mistake, if you're whatever, it doesn't matter. Be honest about how you feel and move accordingly. So taking up space can mean so many different things, and it hits so many different nerves for so many different people when they listen to that song. But for me, it's about taking up space by just actually holding space for my emotions and saying, you know what, I'm gonna make decisions based on what is healthy for me and what feels sacred to me, what feels, you know, like it's honoring my body, mind, and soul.
Mm-hmm. You know what I heard you say? I heard you say when I wrote that song, it meant one thing because I was in this place. Now that I have evolved and grown and flourished,
Yeah.
now the perception, it means something different. And guys, it's very, very important that you pay attention to that, because we're not supposed to stay in the same space. We're supposed to evolve and grow, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here's the deal. This is a snippet today, y'all. Toni will be live in the Zoom room in the little bitty boxes, and she's going to be giving us this and more because we get to do a live meditation with her, and we're going to have a little time for Q&A. So I know
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of you guys in the comments because you guys are rocking with Toni and you're rocking with the AOD family. But imagine you being able to put your question in the chat or even come off mute and ask a potential question that you have. You will be able to do that tomorrow at the Mindset Megafest. So before we wrap up, let me share again. tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. EST, is the Mindset Megafest. We have thought leaders, therapists, amazing people like Toni Jones, myself, and so much more tomorrow in the Zoom room, and it's free. Click the link in my bio or go to MissWestCreativeCoach.com/Megafest and you can get plugged in. Toni, is there anything you would like to share with the people before we wrap up?
No, I'm complete. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully you all register and join us.
Awesome. Can we roll out with one of your songs, sis?
Yeah, we can roll out.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. That's why you got to have two phones, y'all. You got to have two phones. Okay? Hold up. Y'all know how YouTube be doing the little ads and whatnot, but we got it.
Hype me up, I guess.
Come on. Let's go. Hey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me get off here because I will be having y'all hype on y'all lunch break, okay? So
Thank you.
Thank you again, Toni. We'll see you tomorrow, and everybody, we'll see you in the Zoom room.
Peace.
Bye,
Peace.
guys.
Bye.